Hello, everyone. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving weekend, or at least you're still having one. This is Professor Joseph Holbrook again, coming to you with our third lecture for week 14 of Introduction to Christian History, using Alistair McGrath's excellent book, Christian History and Introduction. This is a core required course for our certificate in Christian Studies that is 15 credits and requires 5 courses. So I hope you will enjoy this discussion today of reconnecting with culture. So today we're talking about the rise of secularism in the latter half of the 20th century. And the churches in Western Europe generally thought they really reached a point where they regarded faith as increasingly under challenge and called into question just after the World Wars, and they began to feel the loss of influence. I guess we're still feeling that today in the 21st century. And some of the reasons for this was the rise of biblical criticism, questioning the historical reliability of the New Testament. Darwin's theory of evolution was a contributing factor, and also critiques of religion that were written by Ludwig Feuerbach and later Karl Marx, and then finally at the turn of the century, Sigmund Freud with his reductive definition of religion as a childhood neurosis. All these raise questions about the social and psychological origins of the idea of God. And finally, modern science. The idea that modern science was the rational source of knowledge about the world and the cosmos. All of this led to a rise in a new kind of apologetics that was not based so much on reason or logic as was the case with Thomas Aquinas and others around his time. So this rise of apologetics was asking how to respond to these concerns, these challenges, these criticisms. And so this began in the 20th century. The apologetics actually became a formal discipline within the School of Theology, an engagement with contemporary cultural concerns about the rationality and morality of Christian belief. The discipline had a long history of emerging when Christianity encountered intellectual hostility. Justin Martyr was one of the early church apologists, and he wrote in the context of intense antagonisms and suspicion. Let me pause this. Sorry about that. My other computer was making beeping noises, so I paused in order to turn the sound off. This is not a highly professional operation here, as you've probably seen. I'm a historian, not a marketer. So anyway, the Justin Martyr was probably the first Christian apologist, and he wrote in a context of intense antagonism and suspicion towards Christianity among Greek philosophers and Romans in the 2nd century of the Roman Empire. So Charles Taylor is a philosopher that wrote a book that made quite an impact recently called A Secular Age, in which he traces the history of the development of secularism. And he observes that in a secular age, attempting to provide convincing rational proof of God is not entirely convincing to many people who have been secularized. However, Taylor, in his book, believes that myth and metaphor, through literature, poetry, and art, can inspire and bring people to the edge of revelation about the realities of God. There are other philosophers who've made a similar observation about aesthetics or beauty, that beauty can draw us to the knowledge of God. Alistair McGrath, the author of the textbook that we're using, says that science can tell us how and when, but only faith can answer the question why. And hence the need for science and faith to work together. Let me show you my picture here. This is Gandalf, and I use him as a example of the hero's journey. The hero's journey, according to Joseph Campbell, is a fairly universal myth found in all cultures and all religions. It deals with a hero who goes down into a dark place. Sometimes he dies and goes into hell. Other times he goes into a dark cavern or cave to face off with a monster and to emerge victorious. And C.S. Lewis, among others, have observed that Christ is the ultimate hero journey, the story of Christ's journey to the cross and down into hell to vanquish sin and vanquish the demonic powers, and then rising again triumphant. And so one way to present the Christian message is through the myths and the metaphors of the hero's journey. 3 apologists rose in England, actually 4. I feel like the author left one out that was very important. But the textbook talks about 3 apologists in England in around the middle of the 20th century. The first was G.K. Chesterton. Actually, he passed away in 1936, so he was in the early part of the 20th century. He was a journalist and a novelist who countered the skepticism of the Edwardian age with a well-framed and well-phrased restatement of the fundamentals of the Christian faith. He wrote a book called Heretics in 1905. He wrote Orthodoxy in 1908. He set out both to challenge some of the settled historical assumptions of his day and to reassert the reasonableness of their Christian alternatives. His book, The Everlasting Man, written in 1925, is widely regarded as being one of his best apologetic works and achieved considerable influence. Another apologist was writer Dorothy I. Sayers, who died in 1957. She achieved a lot of influence and rose to fame during the 1920s as a novelist, noted chiefly for her murder mysteries involving Lord Peter Wimsey. And I have a picture of these 3, Chesterton, C.S. Lewis, which we'll talk about in a moment, and Dorothy Sayers. So, Clive Stapleton Lewis, the famous C.S. Lewis, who's a favorite of many of us. He was initially an atheist. He was converted to Christianity at some point around 1931 or 1932. Lewis was a fellow of Magdalen College in Oxford, whose primary teaching responsibilities lay in the field of English literature. Lewis gradually developed a secondary role as a Christian apologist, capable of explaining the basic ideas of the Christian faith in an engaging and stimulating way to a lay audience. His first work to adopt this approach was The Problem of Pain, written in 1941, and also one of my personal favorites. Let me put up another picture. This is a picture of C.S. Lewis in his office. He has become a hero to many in the Christian faith, and he's a very effective apologist to people, highly educated people. He developed a series of talks on BBC, and later developed those talks into a book called Mere Christianity, which is considered one of the classics of the 20th century in terms of explaining and defending Christianity. It was published in 1952. It's often identified in popular surveys as the most influential religious book of the 20th century. While offering a defense of the reasonableness of faith, Lewis emphasized the ability of faith to connect with the deepest human intuitions about life and also to captivate human imagination. And he did a good bit of this in his series, The Chronicles of Narnia. He also wrote a space trilogy. And so he, in addition to being a apologist who resorted to rational discussion and argument, he also told stories. I heard one source say, and I don't know if this is entirely true, but that after he wrote Mere Christianity, he realized that it was effective for modern people who could be persuaded by an argument, but it would not be effective for postmodern people. So he wrote the Chronicles of Narnia for his nephews, I think, as an attempt to capture the imagination of a younger postmodern audience through images and stories. And I have to say they were pretty effective. They certainly influenced me, and I read them to my children as they were growing up. All three of these apologists, Chesterton, Sayers, and Lewis, have one important shared insight, that one of the best ways of commending Christian faith was through the works of fiction or drama. Chesterton wrote a fictional series called Father Brown. Sayers had radio plays such as The Man Born to be King. Lewis wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, as I mentioned before. All of them adopted an approach to apologetics that engaged the imagination, not just the mind. In a skeptical age, they realized it was not enough simply to show that Christianity made sense. It had to be shown to tell a compelling story, shown to have imagination. And this brings me to J.R.R. Tolkien, who I think should be included in this list of English apologists around the middle of the century. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote the series. He wrote. Let me back up. He was a friend of C.S. Lewis. They met with a group called the Inklings at the Eagle and Child. They would read portions of their writing and critique one another constructively, along with Owen Barfield and others. Tolkien was a little bit critical of some of C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia writings because he felt like they were more analogies or parables than they were mythical. Tolkien was an expert in the field of philology, which is a study of ancient languages. He also knew a lot about Celtic and Nordic mythology. And in his writings, The Hobbit, which is the kind of children's book that he wrote first, and then later the more epical Lord of the Rings trilogy, he went after the deep level mythology in order to stir people with this mythical and mythical metaphors, I would say. So this brings us back to the hero's journey with Joseph Campbell, in which the hero goes down into a dark place, sometimes dies and faces evil, dies in order to go there, and then comes back in a resurrected or a transformed way. One of the examples of this in Tolkien's book is Gandalf, who falls into the abyss fighting the Balrog and dies with the Balrog, but is resuscitated and sent back as Gandalf the White. Another example of this was Strider or Aragorn going into the cave of death in the mountain, the shortcut in which only the dead could pass, and he comes out as a king, transformed hero. Also, Frodo and Sam going through Shelob's lair and their journey to destroy the Ring of Power. All of these could be considered Christ figures because of the commonality of this hero's journey. So, according to Taylor, this is the kind of apologetics that is needed. Let me go back. There's one more picture I wanted to show. Here we go. So this kind of approach to mythology, metaphor, poetry, literature, art, aesthetics is a powerful form of apologetics that can nudge people toward an openness to the revelation of God, instead of trying to overcome their will through rational arguments. And so this closes out week 14 with our discussion here of the rise of the new apology. Of course, apologetics means to give a rational defense for Christianity. It does not mean taking responsibility for evil deeds or asking for forgiveness. That's not the primary meaning of it in this context. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll be back again next week for week 15, and then I have a week 16, and then we'll be wrapped up with this course, and we'll be moving on to other courses such as history of theology. I have planned for next year and the year after that a history of Christian mysticism. I'll be bringing you those series in the coming 12 to 18 months. So thank you very much. If you're interested in our certificate of Christian studies, please reach out to me. I will put the my phone number and my email address down below, and you'll be able to contact me to find out more about those. Have a great day. Go Ohio State. Goodbye.